Week 17 now in the books. Monday Night Football. The Falcons upsetting the Rams. Did Matthew Stafford lose the MVP in prime time? And a look at the Week 18 playoff picture on today's NFL Six Pack.
This is Locked On's NFL Six Pack. 6 bold takes from 2 guys who just flat out know football. NFL experts Matt Williamson and Brian Peacock bring pure NFL talk. Great takes, no fluff. Just honest football talk. Crack one open. It's NFL Six Pack on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to the NFL Six Pack. Brian Peacock and Matt Williamson at BD Peacock at Williamson NFL. Thanks everybody for making us your first listen on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day, and thanks for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. Lots to get into on today's show. Hall of Fame finalists were announced. We got a playoff picture for Week 18 and Monday Night Football. Surprisingly, it didn't have a lot to do with the playoffs, but I think it had a lot to do with who the MVP in the NFL might be here. With the Rams kind of stumbling now into the end of the season. This was a team, Matt, in the Los Angeles Rams that less than 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago, they had the Thursday night matchup with the Seattle Seahawks, right? And then suddenly they have lost the ability to win the NFC West. And this was a team that was the 1 seed. So you lose the 1 seed. You are number 1 in everybody's power rankings. You lose the opportunity to win the NFC West. And Matthew Stafford might have lost the opportunity to win the MVP in a very short amount of time. All of a sudden, the 11-5 Rams might be the 6th seed in the NFC when it's all said and done.
Yeah, they looked like, I remember saying it over and over, and I actually don't regret it, and I still kind of believe it, despite all those things you just said, that they look like the most invulnerable team in the league. I mean, it's a very flawed year, especially in the AFC with the contenders. All these playoff teams have big concerns. And I often said, well, except the Rams. I think the Rams are, pretty solid all around. I still feel that way, but the last couple of weeks haven't gone their way. And, now all of a sudden they're kind of trending the wrong direction. Would they be number 1 in your power ranks if you were to rank them? Or would you put San Francisco or Seattle or an AFC team? Or
It's really hard right now because you're right. This is so wide open. Seed 1 in the AFC or the NFC compared to seed 7 in the NFC and the AFC. There's not a big difference right now. I think there are some teams that are in worse trouble in the AFC than the NFC.
Yeah.
But man, I don't know if I'd put the Rams number 1 right now based on how they're playing. They've lost 2 in a row. They've lost 3 of their last 5. And they're not playing the best ball. And clearly having Alaric Jackson out, the left tackle, hurt them. If you're at full strength with Puka and Devontae Adams, I think you feel a lot better about where the Rams are in the playoffs potentially. So I think that's important for the Rams to get ready. Sean McVay did say that they are going to play everybody in Week 18. We're going to talk more about this game, but they're going to play everybody in Week 18, basically saying they have to play better, almost like it's a practice game. They don't deserve the opportunity to rest. I feel like they should rest because the difference between 5 and 6 isn't that big, although 5 is pretty big. If they have a big lead on the Falcons, I think you'll see or on the Cardinals next week. I think you'll see Jimmy Garoppolo and kind of sit everybody down if they have the opportunity to do so. And the Cardinals are only a 3-win football team right now, so that should be winnable. And that's all that has to happen for the Rams to get the 5 instead of the 6 is beat the Cardinals next week.
Go ahead.
The way Matthew Stafford played in this game and throwing the football to the other team, 3 interceptions. This is the old school Matthew Stafford, right? And pick 6s. It was bad. And this is not the type of performance you want in Week 17 if you're trying to win the MVP award either, especially when the other guy's going crazy and dominating teams in Drake Maye. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But as far as this game goes, Matthew Stafford was a big part of why they lost the football game.
Yeah, and you touched on a lot of things I wanted to bring up about this game. But first, I'm going to tell a little story. I've mentioned before that my son's home from University of Kentucky, and you can see over my shoulder the basement. What you can't see is what a mess him and his friends have made out of it since they've been home, and the number of beers consumed in this basement over the last couple of weeks. But he was home last night. They're all down here. They're all betting. They're all having fun. And it's halftime, and I wanted to go double check the score. Halftime would have been 21-0. And they all put like $3 bets down. I'm like, take the Rams money line at the half. they're always bugging me. What should we bet on now? Put $2 on this. $3 on this. I'm like, you're going to get really good long odds on Rams to come back and win this thing after being down pretty heavy at half. Before you know it, the Rams score 17 points, and my basement is like on fire. It's like a fraternity house down here because that last drive too. I mean, there was open receivers, and like this thing got really exciting down to the end to turn $2 into 20 or whatever they were going to. They were so psyched,
That was fun too, because it was like multiple plays at the end of the game that should be long shot plays. They almost hit it multiple times. Puka with the one-handed catch, toe tap on the sideline.
Yeah.
The
deep,
Yeah, he missed a guy, but maybe was that like, did he expect him to be in a different place? Is that one if it's a different receiver that Stafford's more comfortable with, that's a connection? All of a sudden you're in field goal range. And so fun stuff there at the end of the game. And the Rams
bring that up
to storm back and make that a football game. And that was definitely one. Speaking of sons, I was with my son. I was like, he's like, I want to play video games. I was like, well, halftime 21-0 might be the right time to do that. I gotta keep tabs on this thing though, and luckily I didn't turn it off because it was fun in the second half to watch them try to storm back in that game. Xavier Smith, the leading receiver for Stafford in this one, and almost had that big one late in the fourth quarter with just a few ticks left on the clock there.
I do have some O-line concerns though.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, this was not a good O-line day at all for the Rams. They've got some injuries there. I was a little shocked with McVay and Stafford, how long he was holding the football, particularly in the first half. Second half, Stafford looked like MVP Stafford to me, but first half Stafford looked like he was getting under a lot of pressure. Could have used Devontae Adams. Corum got hurt in this game too, so there was a lot of things that went against them. But I also want to give the Falcons some credit too. I mean, that defense has transformed itself from being kind of a laughingstock for the last 10, 20 years to, they got some playmakers now. And, Bates at safety, but the other safety, Watts, as well as the two young edge rushers, getting a lot out of that rookie class and a lot of splash.
Zane Gonzalez, got to mention him with the game-winning field goal, 3 of 3 on field goals there. And of course, if you talk about the Atlanta Falcons, you got to mention Bijan Robinson and how phenomenal he was in a week where you had Derrick Henry go for 4 touchdowns, and Bijan Robinson maybe had the better game, right? With 34 receiving yards on 5 receptions and a touchdown there. The long 93-yard touchdown from Bijan, 22 carries, 195 on the ground, 8.9 average for Bijan. Reminding people, I know Derrick Henry had a real nice game, but maybe I'm the best running back in the NFL. So Bijan Robinson, just a phenomenal football game here and putting the Falcons offense on his back.
So they interviewed Atlanta's head coach, and I've heard this a couple times out of his mouth, that he refers to Bijan as the best football player walking the earth. Basically, like he's the best player in the league, so we use him, and like real nonchalant. Takes you aback a little bit, but I get it. I mean, I do think he's the best running back in the league. Henry's great, but he's kind of a specialty type guy, and he's a little up in age. I think Gibbs has an argument. McCaffrey's still very much in the mix. But if I'm taking anyone for one game or for next year, it's Robinson. He blows me away the way he moves and his cuts and his vision, and such a good receiver too. And frankly, he breaks the tie with Gibbs just because he's 20 pounds heavier or whatever.
Right. Yeah. And has been the workload guy more so than Gibbs has had even the opportunity to, and maybe Gibbs will get that opportunity. But what's funny about the running back thing is what year is it? It's a different answer. 2023, it's Christian McCaffrey. 2024, it's Saquon Barkley. 2025, it is Bijan Robinson. It's been Derrick Henry in the past. Will it be Jahmyr Gibbs next year? Maybe, probably. I would bet on it not being the same guy every year, right? Because that's just kind of the nature of the running back position. And then you mentioned all those running backs and which team won with that running back that they drafted and hit on and was great, which still brings me all the way back to, okay, you got a great running back. You have a top 15 draft pick.
Right. I mean, again, like you mentioned Barkley, but he's added to a good team. Henry was added.
He didn't draft him either.
Exactly. Yeah, that's different. Like I'll add this piece last. Sure. But you're not picking in the top 10 with just needing one piece. You're the Eagles with adding one piece. Right.
Sorry, Matt. Didn't mean to get philosophical and hijack this with my anti-draft running back high takes. But
I get it.
It's a perfect example. You've got maybe the best football player walking the planet right now, and you got a top 15 draft pick because that's how little that one singular position matters in the grand scheme of things. In my opinion, when you're building a winning football team, running games matter, running backs are important, and they're fun. First round running backs, not the way to build winning football teams. I think we've learned that. Bijan is awesome though, and can they fix that and figure it all out around him? There's definitely signs that the Falcons are close, and maybe they just need that one more offseason. So we'll see.
I know, and I'm sure I felt this way about LaDainian Tomlinson and so many other great backs over our lifetime. But I will say, over the last 5 to 10 years, Bijan might be my favorite watch amongst running backs.
So complete.
Yeah.
I mean, even when you compare him to all the other running backs, and actually, you know what? Let's pause on this one because this is part of our six-pack here. We've got some more ways to break this all down. Let's talk about Bijan Robinson. Is he the best running back, and why is he the best running back? Stafford versus Maye for the MVP versus the field. Is there another name we need to throw in that hat? And another hat we need to throw in that ring with the Stafford performance on Monday Night Football playoff picture, Hall of Fame finalists. A lot to get into on today's NFL six-pack. This episode of NFL Six Pack is brought to you by Gusto. And come on, let's be honest. No one starts a business for the joy of calculating tax withholdings or managing payroll spreadsheets. That's where Gusto comes in to take the stress out of payroll, benefits, HR, so you can focus on running your business and supporting your team. Gusto is the all-in-one remote friendly payroll HR platform that makes managing your team simple. It makes managing your team transparent and fast. So whether you're hiring, onboarding, or paying employees, Gusto helps you do it all from one place, one dashboard, without the hassle or hidden fees. Unlimited payroll runs for one monthly price, which means no surprise charges at the end of the month. Gusto's automated tools like offer letters, onboarding materials, and direct deposits save hours every week for business owners and business operators. So try Gusto today at gusto.com/lockedonnfl and get 3 months free when you run your first payroll. That's right. 3 months of free payroll at gusto.com/lockedonnfl. One more time. That's Gusto, gusto.com/lockedonnfl. All right. Thanks again, everybody, for making us your first listen on the Locked On Podcast Network. Check out the Everydayer Club, NFL Sixpack.supercast.com, or check the link in the show description. And ad-free, you get this show ad-free, Discord channel to connect with fans, to connect with hosts, talk to all kinds of NFL football. Check out the Everydayer Club, the all-new Everydayer Club here at the Locked On Podcast Network. Okay, six-pack time here. Let's hit these quickly. Right. Matthew Stafford lost the MVP to Drake Maye, Matt.
I'm a little torn. I'm going to say no. I am ready to put, this is an off-season conversation, but I was asked the other day, would you rather have Maye or Herbert going forward? And to me, Herbert's my number 5 quarterback in that conversation just because of Stafford's age. I think they're still an elite 4, and Stafford might be the 5th best quarterback walking the planet. I think Herbert would be my 5th choice in terms of who I'd want going forward.
It's hard to take Stafford at his age with some arm injury concerns over a young quarterback, even if that quarterback's not great yet.
But that's not the conversation for MVP. I mean, it's not. I mean, Maye is at a way different part of his career than Stafford, and I don't care what they both do in the postseason. That doesn't matter. They vote for MVP, I guess, after next week. I still lean towards Stafford, but I think it's a pretty close race. I don't think it's Lamar versus Allen last year, which was, to me, an absolute coin flip.
Right. Yeah. I think it's Maye. I think it's Drake Maye. I think that we don't do a good enough job, though, handicapping strength of schedule and who you did it against.
I was thinking that too.
Stafford did it a bit against about the toughest schedule you can to be talking about a really good team and an MVP, whereas Maye did it about against one of the easiest schedules. And that has to be considered. But I think if you base it on the results, I think it is Maye. And I think it was close enough that this game did make a huge difference for voters. You got one more game, but it was a much higher degree, and it's significant amount higher degree of difficulty for Matthew Stafford this year than Drake Maye.
So I just pulled up Maye's game log, and it's phenomenal. There's no down games, which I think is really impressive, especially at his age.
Mm.
But I mean, I think people are aware. I mean, he completed over 90% of his passes against the Jets and didn't even really play at all at the end of the game. But he's just under 72% in terms of completion percentage for the year. I know that's an old school. That's not EPA. That's not, but when the ball comes out of his hands, it gets completed and it's down the field. It is not at all a dink and dunk, short, Wes Welker type offense. And every game is just impressive. There's no downtime, which is unbelievable.
And on the other side of that, there's Stephon Diggs, who might be in some hot water.
What's going on
news
there?
that I'm still can't even make sense of right now. I don't think we have a lot of information there. But the pass catcher is clearly better for Matthew Stafford too. Is that enough to make up for the strength of schedule? I don't know. But I think today, Drake Maye would probably win it. I think it's close enough that if you have a 3 interception game and you lose a game on Monday Night Football, it's going to hurt you because it's that close.
Yeah. And we know how this works too, that, I mean, these voters are human beings and they remember the last thing you do. And now there is one more game.
Yeah. And especially if you go like Vrabel's going to win Coach of the Year, Drake Maye's going to win MVP if the Patriots have the best record in the NFL and have the 1 seed in the AFC. That's another thing that goes into it is you like, I think there's players that deserve MVPs on losing teams, but you just don't award them. That's just the way that this thing goes.
Yeah. I mean, Bijan's no, he's not. That's a whole running back conversation. But I mean, he's as good at his job as these guys are.
Right. Yeah. You're talking about if you want to play the field and you say, okay, well, does Bijan deserve it? Does Christian McCaffrey deserve it? He does. Has been the entire offense for the San Francisco 49ers. And my answer would be no, but that I think those are going to be conversations that should be had. Right now, today, it's Drake Maye. I think Stafford.
I think you might have convinced me. I was waffling enough that I might go with Maye. Yeah.
Here's the thing. You talk about betting, getting ahead of one. How about this? The third different quarterback from that draft class, I put my money on Caleb Williams to win it next year.
Oh, wow.
And then we had that conversation. It's like, oh, Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback in this class. Oh, Drake Maye is the best quarterback. Oh, wait a second. How about Caleb Williams, year 2, with all those pass catchers in Chicago? The ceiling is certainly there. He's got to fix up some stuff with the floor, Caleb Williams. But, man, I mean,
is that going to be Rivers, Eli, and Ben?
Woo, that could be a lot of fun.
I mean, Nick's is no slouch either, but, like, is that the Burrow, Tua, Hurts, Herbert class? Love.
Yeah,
that's an unbelievable class. You're right, though. I like all 3 of those guys a lot.
To where we're sitting right now today, and I know it was a weird season for Washington, but you feel pretty good about all 3 of those quarterbacks, and that doesn't happen that often.
Yeah, and Nick's is growing on me too.
Right? Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're talking about 2 of those quarterbacks that are going to be one of those is probably going to be the 1 seed in the AFC right now.
Yeah, how about that? And what if Nick's battles Maye in the AFC Championship game?
Wow. Yeah. And I don't like. Some people will vote for Stafford based on a lifetime achievement too. It's like, okay, young kid, you wait your turn and you'll get an MVP maybe someday. And
Maye's case might be stronger. I think you convinced me.
Bijan, we have this in our notes, so this is one of our 6-pack. Bijan, best running back in the NFL. We kind of already talked about it. I teased it there at the very end. My thing about Bijan, why I would put him as the best running back in the NFL, is if you compare him to every other running back, he's got something on all of them. Right? It's like, well, Christian McCaffrey is such a great receiver and a runner. It's like, well, so is Bijan. Bijan's got better top speed at this point in their career, bigger play guy, can house it more than someone like Christian McCaffrey can at this point in his career. Derrick Henry, clearly not as complete of a running back, even though he's amazing at his at what he does. You look at Saquon, I'd probably give the nod to Saquon last year, but for similar reasons, I'd give it to Bijan Robinson this year. Jahmyr Gibbs, we talked about him. He's got the explosive ability, but does he have the workhorse ability that Bijan does? So he's kind of got something on everybody.
That's a great way of looking at it. I was kind of actually thinking very similar way of looking at it is, what are the 8 most important running back traits? Vision, durability, et cetera, receiving skills. He's probably top 5 in like all of them, where Henry's missing in a couple, or you know what I mean? Right.
And his ability, like unlike Derrick Henry in the passing game, his ability that doesn't make him number 1 in a category, he's still good at it.
He's still 3.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
It's not like he's bad at something that he's like very limiting to your offense at all in any sort of a way.
Like Gibbs might have better acceleration and long speed, but Robinson's is still top 5.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Oh, man, I wish Robinson had more juice.
No, not at all.
Right.
Boy, I wish he was bigger. Or I wish he cut
Yeah.
the ball better, or
Yeah.
cut better, or saw the field better. No, he's like the best at all of them.
All right. Next, let's talk playoff picture. Let's talk Hall of Fame finalists on this Tuesday edition of the NFL Six Pack. Today's episode of NFL Six Pack brought to you by Prize Picks. And man, Prize Picks is fun and it is easy and it is exciting. Whether you're starting a new routine or jumping into player projections for the first time, trying something new can feel a little challenging. But with Prize Picks, it's really not. It always feels good to be right with Prize Picks. With high-pressure football matchups every weekend, elite hoops action almost every night, the action never slows down, and Prize Picks lets you stay in control and lets you get in on that action because all you do is you go open the Prize Picks app and you look at those stat projections, and super easy. You pick more or less than. No drafts, no waiting. Just pick more or less, and you're on your way. Love the flexibility. Tons of different ways to play it. Build your lineup the way you want. You can build a lineup in 60 seconds. You can have more players for a bigger win or all kinds of different combinations for your lineup. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All right, here we go. Let's get the Hall of Fame conversation out of the way and then turn the page to Week 18 and talk about some of these playoff scenarios here. Finalists have been announced for the 2026 Pro Football Hall of Fame. You get to pick 5, Matt, and here are those finalists. Bengals offensive tackle Willie Anderson. You got Saints quarterback Drew Brees. You got Jerry Evans, the guy that protected Drew Brees for all those years on the offensive line there, guard for the Saints. You got wide receiver Larry Fitzgerald. You got running back Frank Gore. You've got wide receiver Torrey Holt. You've got linebacker Luke Kuechly. You got New York Giants quarterback, Super Bowl champion Eli Manning. You got Terrell Suggs, pass rusher for the Baltimore Ravens. You got kicker Adam Vinatieri. You got wide receiver Reggie Wayne. You got defensive tackle Kevin Williams. You got tight end from the Cowboys, a couple of Cowboys here. Tight end Jason Witten and safety Darren Woodson. And then you got another guard, a couple of guards getting some love here. Marshall Yanda rounds out your 2026 Pro Football Hall of Fame finalists. Can you find 5 Hall of Famers in that group, Matt?
I can. And so I got a couple little categories. I don't want to spend a ton of time on this, but I think Larry and Brees are boom. First time, that's 2 of the 5. Chalk them up. I don't think anyone's going to fight me on that.
No fights.
Okay. I am angry that Kuechly didn't get in last year. I thought he was almost at that exact same level where it's his turn, boom, you're in. I think he's probably the best. I mean, before Fred Warner and after Ray Lewis, I think he's in that category. I mean, like he's an all-time great to me. Mm-hmm. So those 3 are easy to me. There's another category of I'm voting against them, and I worry they're going to get in, but I fear they will. And I'm sure they're swell fellas, but Eli to me is not a Hall of Famer, but I think he's going to go. Adam Vinatieri to me is kind of a joke. I mean, he's made some clutch kicks and he kicked forever, but like when he was with the Colts, he had no distance. He was never one of the best kickers in the league for that long stretch. He didn't even kick off a lot of the time. And he's a kicker. I'm not putting him in over one of the best guards in the league or something like that.
Especially if it's like, okay, here's this other guy at this other position. I'm going to say, okay, give me the other guy then.
Yeah.
Like on Eli, it's you think he's going to get in? Do you think he's going to get in this year?
Yes.
Okay.
He would not be one of my 5, though.
Gotcha.
My 5 are 3 slam dunks, Larry, Brees, Kuechly.
Mm-hmm.
Witten would be my 4th pick.
Okay.
I think he's a top 7 or 8 tight end ever.
Yeah.
And then I come down to 2 Ravens, Yanda versus Suggs. And I prefer Yanda.
Okay. Interesting. Giving some love to the offensive line. I like that.
Yeah. I thought he was a dominant guard for a long time.
I think Frank Gore's probably in that category with Eli Manning. He just accumulated too many yards. And when you're top 3 in the NFL history in yards as a running back, you're probably going to eventually get in. I just don't think it'll be right away. And it probably won't be this year. Eli, I feel similarly. He's a Manning. He's on TV. You know his face. He's going to get the votes. He's got Super Bowl champions. There's a little bit of a bottleneck happening right now, though, too. So he might end up having to wait, but he'll eventually get it.
I tend to think so. I mean, I just don't think he was ever an elite player. Like, frankly, I would have put Rivers in over Manning, but I know I'm kind of the minority there.
Yeah, and Willie Anderson's just going to forever be a finalist, but not get in, it seems like.
I also think there's some receivers like that. Holt, Wayne, Steve Smith made it this far, where they're really all very good, great careers, but I can't quite go there. They're not the Larry level.
Retire their number for the team or whatever. And that's kind of where I'm at with this smaller haul is there needs to be really good players, even great players that aren't in, that makes the honor stat much better because, like, man, Torrey Holt, Reggie Wayne, Willie Anderson, these guys aren't even Hall of Famers. And you got into the Hall of Fame. That's the level that you're on.
I like the way you say that. That's 100% true.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Week 18, playoff scenarios. I think things are not that difficult in a lot of ways here. We could get super in-depth in this. We are not going to get that in-depth. We can talk a little bit more when we break down some of these games as we head toward Week 18, Matt. But let's go to the
I'm interested, like Thursday, Friday, who's sitting, who's not. That's not a Tuesday conversation, though.
Yeah. And we'll find out a little bit more about that. We do have some inclinations on some of those. Like, we're going to see Trey Lance this weekend. We're going to see Leonard and not Rivers, I think, this weekend as well. But looking at the NFC, 1 seed, super easy. 49ers play the Seahawks for it. And whatever team wins the NFC West, wins the 1 seed in the NFC. Oddly enough, the Rams game on Monday Night Football against the Falcons didn't have a lot to do with seeding because it's all about that division tiebreaker first, and then it's common games before it gets to conference for division teams. So when there's 3 teams, it's still the same. So the Rams win against the Cardinals. They're the 5 seed next week, and it didn't matter that they lost this week.
That was my question, because the 5 seed's very desirable in the NFC.
I take that back. I misspoke.
Okay, so I'm saying the Niners or Seahawks can't get the 5 seed with a loss?
They can't. So if the 49ers win, they're the 1 seed. Seahawks win, then they're the 1 seed.
Okay.
If the 49ers lose, then the Rams have to lose, or the Rams would be the 5, the Niners would be the 6.
Okay.
That's because the Rams they would both have 12 wins, so they'd be tied there. They would be then tied division tiebreaker. The next tiebreaker for division teams is not conference record. It goes to common opponents. So the Rams beat the Jaguars, the Texans, and the Bucks that the 49ers lost to. So Niners have all the tiebreakers except for common games, which the Rams would have over the 49ers. But if the Seahawks lose, they get the 5 seed.
Oh, so worst case scenario for Seattle, they're the 5.
Yes. If
that's pretty nice for them, actually.
Yeah, so that's the way let me double check. Yeah, because they're already at 13 wins. The Seahawks.
So Seattle's either sitting at home wild card weekend or going to Carolina or Tampa.
Yes.
Sign me up for that.
Yeah, they're in a good spot.
Yeah.
Then you have the Bears and the Eagles for the 2 seed and 3 seed. So that's the only seeds that those 2 teams can get. Right now, the Bears have the tiebreaker over Philly based on head-to-head win percentage. So if both win, Bears 2, Philly 3. Both lose, Bears 2, Philly 3. If the Bears lose, Philly wins, then it's Philly 2, Chicago 3.
I don't think I'd fight real hard for that.
I don't know if I would either.
If I'd play Saquon.
Because you don't even know who you're going to play against.
Right.
5 and 6 seed anyway, or the 6 and 7 seed. And we do know that the Green Bay Packers are the 7 seed no matter what. And we do know that whoever wins between Carolina and Tampa is the 4 seed. So that's the NFC.
So if you're the Bears or the Eagles, you're going to play an NFC West team at your building.
You play because 6 seed is NFC West, 7 seed. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're right.
The 2 seed we might get Bears Packers.
Okay.
Right. So the Packers.
You really want to play the Packers. Play your dudes if you're the Bears or the Eagles.
Yeah, you want 2 seed. And I'd probably rather play the Packers right now than whichever NFC West team. You might end up playing the Rams as the 6 seed.
I might eat those words that I might play hard in Week 18 just to play the Packers, because I don't want any of the NFC West teams.
Yeah, especially the Rams. I feel like the Rams at the 6 seed are the one that goes in and knocks off 3 seed, right? Eagles Rams would be actually pretty fun, and then Bears and Packers for the 3rd time. I kind of want that to be
it's not bad
scenario.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind playing Green Bay.
So looking at the AFC. We know that let's start with the 1 seed. So the Broncos and the Patriots both have 13 wins, and Denver wins the tiebreaker over New England based on win percentage in common games. So they both have the same division record, conference record, 8-3. And so if they both win, those things will all be tied. It'll go to common games. So Denver Broncos would have it. Broncos lose, Patriots win, Patriots get the 1 seed. And that's the only scenario for the Patriots to get the 1 seed.
So they'll both go strong.
Yeah. The Jacksonville Jaguars, I have to check, because the Jacksonville Jaguars, if both Denver and New England lose and Jaguars win, they would all three have 13 wins. They would all three have, let's see, division tiebreaker. Let me go to the tiebreaker here. I got to go deep into the handbook here for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So the Jaguars clinch the South if they win, or the Houston Texans lose. So that one's still not done yet either.
I was looking when Jacksonville plays. They play at 1, so they will not have those answers.
And the Texans get to play against the Colts and the rookie quarterback too.
Okay.
So that's what's happening there.
They also play at 1 o'clock.
And so the only way Houston can get it is Jacksonville has to lose and Houston has to win. And then they win the division. They jump up to the 3 seed.
Okay.
I am looking at
just to rewind real quick. The NFL was smart and have Denver and New England playing at the same time in the late window.
Yeah, I do like that. You know what? I am not seeing where the tiebreaker is. We might have to go down this rabbit hole for Jacksonville to get the 1 seed, if they can get the 1 seed. So tiebreaker.
Okay.
We'll figure that out momentarily. If the Jags can even get the 1 seed, because I don't see that information in this breakdown either. Anyway, that's 1, 2, 3 seed. It'll be Denver, New England, and whoever wins the AFC South.
Okay. 4 is super easy. That's Sunday night winner.
Just like the NFC side with the NFC South, it's the AFC North. Steelers versus Ravens. Whoever wins is in, and they're the 4 seed. Whoever loses goes home.
Standalone Sunday night game.
Sunday night game. That is a playoff game. Then you have whoever is left from the AFC South, the Texans or the Jaguars, vying for that 5, 6, 7 seed with the Los Angeles Chargers and the Buffalo Bills. And those teams are all locked in. It's just which order are you going to be? So it's AFC South, Chargers, and Bills for the 5, 6, 7 seed here. If you want me to get a little deeper into it, I think I can.
Chargers apparently don't think it's worth risking Herbert's hand any more further damage to move around.
Right. So good chance that they lose that game and end up being probably the 7 seed. And in that case, Buffalo
does terrible. Right.
Do you sit Josh Allen? Is a big
I would sit Josh Allen no matter what.
Yeah.
To me, he's the nuclear weapon in the AFC. That I don't even care who my opponent is. If I'm that team with that quarterback, all I care about is having that quarterback healthy.
I agree with you. And right now, the Chargers would win the tiebreaker over Buffalo based on best win percentage in common games. So there you go.
Okay.
And Chargers do have a couple other. They have better division record, better. I think they're tied conference record right now with Buffalo and Los Angeles. So there we go.
If you're the Bills and Chargers, your quarterback is your locomotive to get you into. I would sit both those guys.
Let's say if you are Buffalo and the Chargers are just going to lose this game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you could win and jump up. Is it enough to not play the 2 seed, whether it's the Broncos or the Patriots? And would you rather go play in Jacksonville, say, instead? Is that enough for you? Are you still
not even to risk Allen's health for a minute?
Okay. Yep. I agree with you, man.
Then I'm sitting probably Cook too. I'm not trying to dog it, but I mean Trubisky might be able to win a Week 18 game for you, but I just have to put Allen in bubble wrap.
Right. Okay. There you are. We can get deeper if you have more specific questions about the playoff scenarios, because we could do an entire podcast on it. Get your questions in for this week's mailbag at PD Peacock at Williamson NFL or in the YouTube comments. Check out the Everydayer Club. The link is in the show notes. You can go to NFL6pack.supercast.com. So thanks for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. And Matt and I back tomorrow right here, NFL 6 Pack.